Okay, good morning. Just to say as well, subsection 12 of this amendment should refer to section 12 and to section 12(1) of the bill instead of section 11 and section 11(1) of the bill as well, as this deals with termination in the case of emergency section of the bill, so similar to the last case. Information is an entity that provides the answer to questions or resolves uncertainty. Okay, so we can agree in here that information is a common good. That it's a positive. For years, we have had a culture in this country that information is withheld from women. For years, we have had a paternalistic and a patronising attitude towards women to say that either they are not worthy of information or not strong enough to handle that information. Now, I thought we had reached a point in the evolution of this state that we trusted people with the real information, even if that information was difficult information. Now, we are here today in the closing days of 2018, and we're on the verge of introducing an abortion regime in this country that is radical in international terms. And the bill has at the heart of it a sentence that states that the termination of pregnancy means the ending of a life of a fetus or an unborn child. Now, so controversial is that particular sentence, Minister, that the TD sitting beside you argued vociferously at the committee that she didn't want that sentence in its particular form. And I think that that is a fair representation of the particular discussion, because even those on the pro-choice side balk at that, I suppose, the sobering element of that particular sentence. And that's the sentence that we have to vote on. And that's the sentence that will be part of the new regime in the future. And that's the decision that's being made each time an abortion is had. Now, we had a discussion last week around abortion regret. And there are many women in this country who have experienced abortion regret. We had a TD in the Dáil state that abortion regret was a makey-uppy issue. Now, if that came from our side of the debate, if we disrespected individual women who had such difficulties in their lives, I'm talking about serious difficulties in their lives, if we basically said that those women were lying and not telling the truth about their experience, it would be headline news all over the broadcast media and all over the print media. Because it is a shocking thing to say, to deny a person their feelings with regards their particular experience. And I have met women who have had abortion regret, and they have stated to me that they rue the fact that they did not have all of the information at their disposal when they made the particular decision. And they wished they could turn back the clock to have that particular information brought to them. So this is a serious issue, and informed consent is a logical and a good thing when people make serious decisions for themselves. Now, the bill highlights the seriousness of this because it actually states that a person who is guilty of an offence under this section shall be liable on conviction on indictment to a fine or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 14 years or both. So the bill understands the gravity of actually what we're discussing as well. Now, there will be people in this chamber who will state that information will be used in an effort to shame individuals or in an effort to make their decision more difficult, and they will find reasons to withhold that information. And we had this debate at committee stage, and people said the one thing they didn't like about the Amendment 46 was that it was a mandatory delivery of information. So I sat back and said, okay, let's take the mandatory element out of it. And I stuck in the word offer. And again, we know that the whole referendum was dressed up in clothes of choice, so that people could make a decision one way or the other. But by putting the word offer into that amendment a number of times, what we've done is we've made the information not mandatory, but actually a choice which can be declined if a person does not want that information given to them. And surely in that situation, then the person can say, listen, I was given all the options, I chose not to take the information, and I chose to proceed. And again, Such is the extremity of where we're at the moment, that even amendments that don't desire for a second to limit access in any way, that just ask the question, would you like information? Those amendments, I imagine, from the feedback that we're getting from government TDs, are not going to be accepted. It's incredible that the offer of information, now remember, information is a positive thing. Information is an entity that provides an answer to a question or resolves uncertainty. And I believe that, if you are pro-choice, that you will be pro the offer of that information, and that you will seek that a woman in that crisis situation will actually have the choice to make the decision around the information or not. And all this information that we seek to provide is factual information. It's information that is medically accurate information. And it's information that allows for that informed choice. So again, there are two particular amendments that are before TDs here. Before people get really angry about one of them and say, that it's mandatory, know that there's a second one which says it's not mandatory. It's purely a question I've asked of the woman, would you like the information? And that question can be declined. And how we vote on that will actually show where we're at as a country, I think. Gur Mágat.